Last night, the Athletics returned to Houston and did not disappoint. Behind Jeff Samardzij's 10 strikeouts, the offense racked up runs when they needed it, and the A's cruised to a Game 1 victory. Tonight, it's a tougher challenge as the Astros ace Dallas Keuchel takes the hill. The lefty faced the green and gold a month ago, and he cruised to a complete game victory. The pennant chase is heating up, and the A's need every win they can get. Game 2, A's Astros, next. We're at Minute Maid Park in downtown Houston for Game 2 of the 3-game series. A's won last night 8-2, and tonight, how about the A's battery mates? It's Giovanni Soto and Jason Hamill. So they're going to have to get to know each other quickly, and hopefully they'll have success, and the A's will get themselves a W tonight. It's the Oakland A's and the Houston Astros coming up on Comcast Sportsnet, California. Hey again, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Jason Hamill will be making his 8th start of the year for the Athletics, Ray, and he's had 10 days off. He has struggled at times. He's also had some good outings. Think about from now to the end of the year, he's probably got 5 or 6 starts left if he pitches well, so maybe it starts tonight for him. And,
Cap, the key for him, as we know with any pitcher, is to try to keep the ball down. You're going to see some shots in the start he had against the Astros here. He gave up 6 hits in the first inning. 5 of those hits came with 2 strikes. You see the elevation of the curveball, the fastball. He ended up giving up a home run on an elevated fastball. If he keeps the ball down, he's got a chance to beat this ball club. But I think with any pitcher, you hate to pitch up in the zone unless you throw 95, 97, as Samardzij did last night. For Jason Hamill, though, we have seen him when he's down in the strike zone, he's successful.
Now the Astros will send the left-hander Dallas Keuchel to the mound, having a very good year. His ERA just a shade over 3, Ray, and the A's know how good Keuchel can be.
Well, he was the recipient of the 6-run first inning back on July the 30th. He has a very good changeup, but you see it there, cut fastball inside. But when you give a pitcher a lot of run support, he pitches well, as he did against the Athletics on July 30th. Well, the mistake he made was giving up a home run to Donaldson early in the game. That kind of changed his philosophy. No more first pitch fastballs after that. A lot of changeups and cutters.
All right, so Keuchel and Hamill is your pitching matchup for Game 2 of this 3-game series here in Houston. Up next, we'll head back inside the A's pregame live studios for a sports update, and then we'll come back to Houston. Lineups and first pitch, the A's and the Astros.
brought to you by Jack in the Box. Right now at Jack. Sportsnet California is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Right now at Jack in the Box, try Jack's Spicy Chicken Club Combo for just $4.99 plus tax. And by Toyota, #1 in MPG, durability, and resale value. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back to Minute Maid Park in Houston. The roof is closed on another hot, humid day and evening here in Texas. Lineup cards just now being exchanged at home plate. The Astros have yet to take the field, which they will do momentarily. And then we'll get set for game 2 of this 3-game series. Game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. Outside 85 degrees, a little breezy, but very nice weather inside.
How about the two guys?
It would be tough. It would be tough to play here if there wasn't a dome with the weather.
I agree.
So we got a first pitch that could go down as maybe the worst ever. And we've seen some bad ones this year, but that young lady may be at the top of the charts right now.
Release!
Just held on to it a little too long.
Wow. That's always nice to have that videotape too, just in case we get to show it, and we did.
Wow, that one's going to be a top fiver, and it was so bad. I feel bad for her.
Do you know what I saw in St. Louis just recently? Maybe you saw it too, probably. Bob Costa's got a do-over.
That's tired.
I know. I remember seeing it. Did you see it? Because
I did see it.
Yeah, because he threw it. He go, I need to do it again. What do you mean? You don't get do-overs on ceremonial first pitches, but he did. I guess St. Louis native.
Very weak.
Yeah, me too.
Come on.
Good.
Jeez.
I'm glad somebody else thought the same way I did.
I'm with you 100%. One is all you get. Here's the A's lineup. Starts with Coco Crisp in center field, Gentry in right, Donaldson at third. Norris is your DH, Johnny Gomes the left, Fryman at first, Callaspo the switch hitter, Giovanni Soto his first start as an Athletic, and Andy Perino is the shortstop. So all kinds of right-handed bats in the lineup tonight.
And it is Dallas Keuchel, and if all the right-handers in the lineup, he's going to use his changeup and his cutter as he did back on July the 30th. But he's pitching well, double figures in wins, and with an Astros ball club that has surpassed their total wins from last year, he's at the top of the rotation. Not surprised that he is still with his ball club. They'd like to build with him in the top of the rotation. And tonight, the A's will try to beat him and try to keep their win streak alive.
Defensively for the Houston Astros tonight, Grossman in left, Fowler in center, Marisnik in right. Gregorio Petit gets a start at third base. Gonzalez is the shortstop. Altuve at second, Singleton at first. And Jason Castro once again is your catcher. So there's the defense, and Dallas Keuchel is set to take them out. So A's beat Bo Porter's Astros last night 8-2. An improvement, certainly from last year to this year, no doubt about it. They're 55-77 are the Astros. Last year at this time, 88 losses, and they were on their way to a 111 loss season. So progress being made here in Houston. But for the A's, a different story. They have one thing in mind, and that's pennant race baseball, as they are tied with the Angels in the AL West. Mike Esterbrook calls balls and strikes. The crew chief is Paul Emmel, who's at first base. So a quick 0-2 to Coco Crisp.
I think one of the keys to try to get him out of the game as quickly as possible, get the bullpen. And Keiko is such a very good pitcher, and if the A's can do a good job working the counts, Coco taking a couple of strikes, but they start swinging earlier because of that.
That is a foul ball. Right at the last second, it kicked foul. So the count remains 0-2.
Coco taking a couple of pitches, but the thing about Keiko, he's going to be around the plate. So while Coco took a couple of strikes and then fouled one, might not see the hitters to follow doing the same thing, especially if he's got to be around the plate consistently.
Now, Keiko has 5 complete games this year. That's the most in the American League. Only Clayton Kershaw has more complete games in all of baseball. And as we showed you in our open, one of those complete games was a start against the Athletics on the 30th of July. So he's really become a workhorse, the leader of the staff for the Astros, and that's really the kind of guy they needed. Here's the complete games. So if you're second to Kershaw on anything, that's just fine.
And there's a change up to lay off of that pitch. And you know, we talked about Scott Feldman last night getting a 3-year contract from the Astros to be the leader of this staff. Well, they've got one right here. And Keiko, nothing against Scott Feldman, but if you have to go outside the organization when you already have an ace of your staff, then it says a lot about Keiko.
Reach for it, popped foul, and a diving attempt by Marisnik, and he almost caught it. I didn't think there was any chance anybody would even have an attempt at it, and Marisnik, he almost caught it. It's a heck of an effort.
Well, that's the Josh Reddick area from last year, but just a few inches short, but an excellent effort and a nice ovation from the crowd on hand.
So the count 2-2 to Coco Crisp. Very close, missed outside, 3-2.
How about that? 7 pitches to start the game for Coco, and to take this pitch to the outside corner and just off the plate. Will he come back with a changeup? 3-2. And will Coco be looking for one?
Comes down and in, and Coco rolls at foul.
I don't think any pitcher wants to get a complete game, wants to have a long at bat. Coco's doing a great job, because this is a very good at bat, especially after Keiko got the first 2 fastballs in for strikes.
And Coco takes low, and it's a leadoff walk. So a very good at bat to start the game.
I'm after the Nissan keys to the game. Work Dallas Keiko. Now, don't let Dallas get comfortable in Houston. Oh, that's Dallas Keiko in Houston, Texas. That's pretty good. Again, the Astros, of course, living off the long ball as they did last night. But the layer's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whew. That was a cutter, 3-2, and boy, that's an excellent bat by Coco Crisp. As he took the changeups, fouled off the fastballs, and took a cutter for ball 4. 9 pitch at bat to start the game.
First pitch to Gentry is a strike. Check to swing. 265 with 10 RBIs for Gentry.
Keiko had 5 strikeouts against the A's on the 30th, and he also had 13 ground ball outs.
Bunted. Keiko picks it up, and everybody's going to be safe. He tried to pick it up, I should say, and didn't do it.
Made the mistake of trying to use just his glove to flip the ball to Singleton, who was charging but was getting back to the bag. But there's the speed again of Gentry, forcing Keiko to do something he might not normally be doing. But great bunt, and watch Keiko. Singleton going back, and he just tried to scoop it. I don't know that he'd gotten him anyway, because Singleton had not gotten all the way back to the bag. And Gentry with that blazing speed, and once Keiko missed it, after attempting to flip it, he might have played a little highlight if he'd gotten the ball in his glove.
So it goes as a sacrifice, E1.
Well, good news is the sacrifice. The bad news, that should have been a base hit, because that was going to be a tough to throw him out anyway. He's had some strange calls here in Houston on official scoring.
So 2 on, nobody out, and the first pitch to Donaldson is low. So Donaldson, a big night last night, 3 hits and 3 RBIs.
Kev, I think if I'm an official scorer and I see that the pitcher has to hurry and try to use his glove to throw out the base runner and he's not successful, I don't know that I can penalize him for trying to do something when he knows it's going to be impossible to get him out anyway.
That's not normal effort right there.
No.
And as you saw in a replay, even if he does pick it up, it's a very close play at first base.
Exactly.
Donaldson, 25 home runs, 87 RBIs. He has done major damage against the Astros this year. For the season, he's hitting .390 with 5 home runs and 18 RBIs in 14 games against the Astros. Here in this ballpark, he's hitting .403 this year. So the Astros just have not been able to get Donaldson out. They may do it here, though. Bounce to Petit, steps on third, throws across the diamond, throws low. So Petit gets the lead runner. Donaldson moving slowly back toward first base.
Well, Petit knew he's not going to have a chance to double up Donaldson, so he steps on the bag to get the lead runner and then across the diamond. I tell you, nice play by Singleton, because if he had tried to stretch and missed it, A's possibly could have scored the run with Gentry's speed, but he knew he had no chance. He came off the bag. And Petit, former Athletic, playing well for the Astros. Singleton, a very good play at first.
So here's the cleanup hitter, Derek Norris. Norris, the designated hitter. Norris had 1 hit last night, but it knocked in a couple of runs late in the game. And tonight, DHing with Giovanni Soto getting his first start with the Athletics.
As we talked last night, Kat, the great thing about Derek Norris, he's put up some great numbers this year. 49 runs batted in, still not an everyday player. But he says his body's feeling good, and he's had some back issues, but he's kind of figured out some things, and he's feeling very well.
More action for Petit, who juggles, then fires to second, and they just get Gentry, or make that Donaldson, excuse me. So Donaldson is retired, and he's not moving great. Got a little limp going as he heads off the field. So it'll be another fielder's choice.
Well, and the A's still hitting because Petit bobbled the ball momentarily, and I tell you, that maybe wasn't necessarily a neighborhood play at second, as the throw was high and Altuve had to come up to get the ball after double clutch by Petit at third.
So first and third, 2 outs for Johnny Gomes. Gentry now at third, Norris at first. First pitch to Gomes, center field, base hit. Drops in front of Fowler. Gentry will trot in to score, and Johnny Gomes with a 2-out RBI hit, and the A's lead 1-0.
Jumping on the first pitch, and Keiko, watch a little slide step quick pitch, and by doing so elevated his fastball, and Johnny Gomes all over it and solidly hit the center field. No chance for Fowler to come in and make the play. Very quick bash for Johnny Gomes, and with a pump of the fist by Gentry scoring. Johnny Gomes coming through, and if you look at the last, this is game number 131 for the Athletics, and they're going to see about 15 left-handers the remainder of the season, projected out to the end of the season. So that means Johnny Gomes is going to get some playing time, especially against the lefties.
Here's Fryman. Fryman takes a pitch outside. 5 for 8 with a home run against Dallas Keuchel.
You think Petit could have turned the double play. The A's don't get a chance for Gomes to drive in the run. So a couple of plays not turned by Petit, which helps the A's keep the inning alive.
It's those small things.
That's right. Good point.
Finding now behind him, count 1-2. That one bounces right into the dugout.
How about this one from Big Nate coming back to Houston, where they let him go. This was left center. And Big Nate, that was a different stance, but still crushed it. We had him in the post game. Well, you know, they didn't need me here because they had all the first basemen. And, you know, so, you know, I'm happy to be with the A's, but, you know, they really didn't need me. Yeah. He's the nicest. He's too nice.
He's too nice.
Oh, he is unbelievable.
People give him a hard time. He just smiles.
He was telling me that the guys are getting on him because he keeps saying, I'm just happy to be here. And they say, don't say that anymore. And he says, well, I am. I'm just happy to be here.
Just being honest.
That's right. That's all he's doing.
2-2 the count.
He'll be a father for the first time this offseason, and his wife Amanda expecting the first child, so it's very exciting for him.
And a changeup, good pitch by Keiko as Fryman strikes out, but the A's get a run. There was a walk, there was an error, and Gomes with a 2-out RBI hit. 1-0 Athletics. Here's the Astros lineup tonight. Grossman in left, Altuve at second, Carter the DH, Fowler in center, Castro will catch, Gonzalez at short, Singleton at first, Marisnick in right, and Petit is the third baseman.
Jason Hamill, who last pitched against the Braves on the 15th of August, so he has had plenty of rest. And pitching tonight against the Astros, trying to even his record on the season. Combined with the Cubs and the Athletics to 10-10. He's 9-10, but 1-5 as a member of the Athletics. So Hamill, who pitched against the Astros on the 30th of July and had a very tough inning, but kind of thinking about that, Altuve led off in that game. He made 2 outs in the same inning. That's unusual. He's hitting second now. Grossman hit a 2-run home run to cap the 6-run inning.
So the first pitch is a good one, in at the knees for a strike. Grossman 214, 6 homers, 30 RBIs. He was 1 for 4 last night. And he's behind in the count 0-2. Astros with a 55-77 record. 4th place in the AL West, 3 games ahead of the Texas Rangers. Astros have lost 3 in a row. And that one almost hit Grossman.
Already 3 pitches thrown by Hamill, all 3 down. That's blocked by Soto, who has the hard curveball, moves in front of it to keep it in front. Looks like a brand new chest protector. That might be hard as a rock too. I mean, it's a shiny color.
Looks good.
It does look good.
And 2 pitches hit toward center. Coke goes over and he's got it. So 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Defensively for the Athletics. Gomes at left, Crispin center, Gentry at right. Then it's Donaldson, Perino, Cayaspo, Fryman on the infield, and Soto is your catcher. Now, during A's pregame live, we talked a little bit, guys back in the studio, about the Soto and Jason Hammel, battery mates, obviously working together for the first time, Ray. And if you're Soto, got here yesterday, you know you're going to catch, you know who you're going to catch. What does he do? Does he look at some video of Hammel, or I mean, how does he get ready for a start with a pitcher that he's never caught before?
Well, he gives a low target, which is number 1, very important. Number 2 is to say to hurry up and get over.
So over, and he does. Nice play by Big Nate Fryman.
But I think the biggest thing, Kipe, is that you tell the pitcher, I don't really know you. I may have faced you, but if I call a pitch and you don't like it and you want to shake me off, do it. And that is a great play because Fryman's playing off the bag, and Hammel, good job covering to get the pesky Altuve out. But you know, this is really a time. Well, that's a solid base hit if it gets past him and got the ball out of his glove quickly. But this is not a time to be adamant about calling certain pitches. If a pitcher feels comfortable in throwing a certain pitch, you defer to him and say, you go ahead and do it. And as they get to know each other better, then all that will take care of itself.
So it may take a little time.
Yeah. But again, the target is the key. And for Hammel, if nothing else, watching some video and knowing Hammel, Soto knows that he needs to try to keep his pitcher down in the zone. And he usually gives a low target, which is good.
And they call that a swing. Paul Emmel called it a swing. So it's 0-2.
That might have been such a quick check swing by Carter. His bat might have passed through the zone, and I guess you could say that was enough, although I didn't think it was a strike.
1-2 now to Carter. 31 homers, 74 RBIs for Chris Carter. Outside corner, strike 3 called. So a good first inning for Jason Hammel. 9 pitches, and the A's with a 1-0 lead after 1. A's Baseball on Comcast Sports Net California is brought to you by Eric's Deli Cafe, who reminds you to put your pickle first. So 1-0, the A's lead the Astros. It's the second inning.
I like pickles on
Yeah, on sandwiches or Caspo on one pitch is retired. And Dallas Keuchel, who had a lot of pitches in that first inning.
Had him at 23 and a lot of pitches down low, and ended up getting the strikeout with a changeup, Nate Fryman, but a couple of ground ball outs. You keep the ball down, and of course Hamill did a very good job bottom half of the inning. On ground ball, fly ball, and the strikeout, but with a cutter and a changeup, hitters have a tendency to get on top of the balls and beat them on the ground. Hamill is that, or Keuchel's that type of pitcher. Just trying to find a way to get under some of the balls.
So Keuchel, first pitch strike to Giovanni Soto. Soto, you mentioned it last night, he's had a real tough year. Opened the season on the disabled list. He tore up his knee a little bit. Got back on July 18th. Played 3 games and went back on the disabled list with a strained groin. And he finally came back beginning of this month. Played just 7 games for the Rangers and he got traded, but at least he's healthy at this point. So a couple of stints on the DL for Soto. Soto, his career started with the Cubs, and he was National League Rookie of the Year.
Yes, he was.
Just looked like a rising star, and then he just never put it all together. Went to the Rangers last year. Played in 54 games with Texas with 9 home runs. And a good changeup, and Soto swings and misses. Second strikeout for Keuchel.
The changeup, and it got Nate Fryman with a 2-2 count. And thing about Keuchel, he throws it just like he's throwing his fastball. And if you're not sitting and looking for it, you're going to have that kind of swing out on the front foot, and it's usually going to be a swing and miss. Changeup and fastball. Of course, he'll throw the cutter off of his fastball. Slider, cutter. So those 3 pitches basically.
Well, last year, Keuchel made 22 starts. And pitched better as a starter. He also pitched in relief a little bit. Up the middle. And Altuve flips his throw a little bit low. Singleton has it. And that's a 9-pitch inning for Dallas Keuchel. So he needed that. Bottom of the second. Coming up, 1-0 the A's lead.
MLB.TV celebrates its 12th anniversary. How about that? Get MLB.TV today for only $12 for the remainder of the season. Visit MLB.TV today. That is one great deal. Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
Number 12.
No, it's gone from first couple of years. The video was not that great.
Yeah.
Now it's high definition. Watch it on your computer, and it's really no different than sitting at home watching it on your TV. Fowler, Castro, and Gonzalez for the Astros here in the bottom of the second inning. Dexter Fowler is hitting a lot in the cleanup spot. Remember, George Springer is still on the disabled list, the fine young outfielder for the Astros who put on quite a show when he was healthy. 20 home runs in 78 games, but Springer with the quad injury lined right to Gomes and left. So the Astros playing without real good young players, and he's been out for a while. They hope to get him back in September, but I think he had a little setback when he was rehabbing. So George Springer's been out of the lineup for a while.
I think since next Monday is September 1st, I think you'll see him back on the roster. And when the Astros come to the Coliseum that weekend following the Mariners, probably will see him, because during batting practice, what we saw, that Minute Maid train was in jeopardy. Because he was crushing them up on the track.
And he's an exciting young player, and one of those guys who's good for baseball.
Yeah.
Very talented, so he should be back in the Astros lineup soon.
It's been a great season for him. For Springer, for Castro. Great season for him, getting a chance to catch every day consistently.
Hits that one hard. Fryman with a dive, and he grabs it. Nate Fryman putting on a show.
He's all over the place. And right behind him was Callaspo, and he ranges to his right and leaves his feet. Callaspo might have overrun the ball had Fryman not come up with it, but big Nate, 6'8", all of him, stretching out to his right, robbed Altuve, now arrives Castro. And what a performance he is having. Oh, I was lucky.
Yeah, Astros are good to me. I didn't like doing it to them.
He is so nice.
First pitch strike to Marwin Gonzalez. A little bit more on George Springer, the Astros rookie home run leaders. Berkman hit 21 in 2000, so Springer's got a pretty good shot to get into the record books.
He's been sitting on that 20 for a while. Of course, the time he's been on the disabled list and been talking about breaking the rookie record. So he'll have the month of September probably to try to hit at least one. Probably will hit more, maybe get closer to 30. After he hit his first, he took off and has had a phenomenal first season.
There's a line drive base hit. Marwin Gonzalez, he's been a tough out. Had a couple doubles in last night's game, and he's got a 2-out single here in the second.
Well, look at the fastball location. Watch Soto. He wants it down on one knee. Look at the location. And this is why it's hit to left field. The first pitch of this at bat was down low. You're thinking Mike Estabrook is given the low strike, and Soto's down there again, and the pitch is up. So first the 5 batters, Hamill's done a very good job keeping his fastball down in the zone and getting the low strike call.
So here's Singleton, another young power hitter. Big swing, fouls it straight back. Fastball struggles with the Athletics, so this is the numbers are strictly on when Hamill throws a fastball. He was working with the White Sox or with the Cubs, not so much with the Athletics. I think the home runs thing that sort of jumps out with Jason Hamill. He's allowed 9 home runs in 32 innings with the A's. He allowed 10 home runs in 108 innings with the Cubs. So,
and he had 3 in his last start in Atlanta, and that's a big yard, but gave up 3 home runs in a game.
So 1-1 to Singleton, who's got 12 home runs, 41 RBI. Shift is on. Big swing and a miss.
Now this time the high fastball worked well for Samardzija last night, and this one works well in this at-bat with Singleton. But as long as the velocity is there, you can pitch up in the zone. You mentioned Samardzija did a good job last night elevating. Dave Trimley said our guys didn't have a chance seeing that high fastball at about 97 from Samardzija. Stayed up in the zone. Guys kept swinging through it.
Quick throw to first. 10 strikeouts for Samardzija.
He said
he had 7 hits last night.
I asked him about Chris Carter hitting a home run. He said, I wanted to punch him out so badly, and kind of overthrew it. He wanted to come back, didn't, and ended up just barely in the right field seats. But got maybe caught up in the 10 strikeouts, won number 11.
Swing and a miss. So Singleton strikes out. Second strikeout for Jason Hamill. And we're on to the third. 1-0 the A's lead. Here's our forward right choice for tonight. Jeff Samardzija last night. He had 10 strikeouts, tying a season high. And he picked up the win versus the Astros. 8 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts, and he threw 116 pitches. So Jeff Samardzija, after a tough start against the Mets, bounces back in a big way, and he was terrific last night.
I think it says a lot about Samardzija that the A's manager Bob Melvin said had he not given up the 2-run home run to Carter in the 8th inning, the biggest decision was whether to send him back out for the 9th. And I love the quote of Melvin. He said he doesn't care about pitch counts. 116 figure, there's no way, but with a shutout as a possibility, he might have gone back, but gave up the home run, and that changed everything.
Keuchel grabs it, and Poco's retired. So 1 out here in the top of the 3rd. Keuchel has retired 5 in a row. A's run in the first was unearned. It was an error by Keuchel. Gentry bunted, and he could not pick it up cleanly. And that put runners at first and second and nobody out, and Gomes got a 2-out hit. First pitch strike to Gentry. Gentry reached on an error. He was also awarded a sacrifice. It was a sacrifice, and an E1 was the official call.
I'd like to see official scores go down and ask Keuchel, what do you think? And he would be quick to say, even though it makes it an earned run, he would be quick to say there's no way he's going to throw him out, and he had to rush because of the speed. That's what Gentry brings to the club, and we've talked about when he and Coco hitting 1 and 2, or Gentry hitting 9th, and Coco hitting first. Whenever they're back to back, that creates a lot of speed on the bases when they get on.
Two and 2 to Gentry.
Shaking his head because he got a change up and swung through it, and I don't know if maybe he was sitting on it, but he opened up, and not only was the location away, but it was off speed.
Right to the third baseman, Gregorio Petit, who throws out Gentry for the second out. Here's our true story brought to you by McDonald's. Donaldson versus the Astros. Again, 14 games this year, 5 home runs, 18 RBIs. His RBI total the most RBIs by any player versus any team this season in the big leagues. So he's just having one of those years against the Astros. We asked him about that. Josh, as always, interesting. Talking a little bit about what he looks for as a hitter. And against the Astros, he usually gets what he's looking for. This time he grounds out, so it's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Dallas Keuchel. We're headed to the bottom of the third. Ace Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California is brought to you by Discover RV in Lodi. Come and check out our grand opening and summer savings. Visit our website at discoverrv.net. Jake Marisnick leading it off. Petit to follow, and then the top of the order, Grossman. Looking for something else, ends up being a fastball right down the middle, and it's 0-2.
You know, the way Keuchel is pitching, and has pitched for 3 innings with the exception of the first inning. It'd be nice if Jason Hamill could say 1 run's enough tonight. I'm going to pitch a shutout. Maybe he and the bullpen can combine if that's what it takes. Keuchel has settled down and not throwing a lot of pitches since the first. Marisnick getting a lot of playing time because Springer is on the disabled list. And if they don't have to make a move until rosters are increased to 40-man roster September the 1st, or at least can do that.
Nice backhanded play by Donaldson, who fires across. That's out number 1. So we're talking about Donaldson against the Astros this year and what he's done in his career at Minute Maid Park. So 18 RBIs in 14 games. Still 4.5 more games to play against these Astros.
Now the home run he hit against Dallas Keuchel on July 30th. That's after Keuchel had gotten a 6-run first inning, first pitch fastball hitting, and he crushed it. But after that, it's almost as if Keuchel said, I'm not going to do that anymore. First pitch fastballs, and kind of changed everything. Got his 4th complete game at Donaldson. You know, you think about the way he plays and plays hurt. Yeah, I think you mentioned last night, got a lot of guys this time of the year doing that. He said, you combine the football mentality and the catching mentality, you have a tolerance for pain. And a lot of that is true, and it's definitely proven to be true with Donaldson.
And that hit Petit. Well, Gregorio Petit hit by a pitch.
Two-seam fastball kept running in. Soto with the target in. It just kept bearing down on the right hit. Petit. Man, that's it.
Our old friend Gregorio Petit.
Yep.
He's back in the big leagues, Ray, for the first time since 2009, and that was with the Athletics. He played just a little bit, 11 games. So since that time, he's been in the minor leagues. Remember, he got traded to the Texas Rangers. He's traded to the Rangers. It was toward the end of spring training of 2010 when the A's dealt him for a right-handed pitcher, Edouard Ramirez. Edouard Ramirez.
What can you tell us about Edouard Ramirez?
Hard-throwing right-hander.
Aren't they all?
The best is 4-pitch guy, sinker, slider,
yeah.
2-seam, 4-seam.
Yeah, got to keep the ball down.
Yeah, keep it down.
Yeah.
Work slow. If you say that, you're in the ballpark for a lot of guys.
Yeah, you can cover your bases. Decent move to first.
4-pitch pitcher. Fastball, curve, slider, change.
And then he said, wait a minute, I don't throw all those pitches.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
According to us, you do. That's right.
Grossman hit a fly ball to center field in the first inning. Donaldson even with the bag. Missed outside, now 2-0.
Soto went out to talk to Hamill after he missed the first pitch fastball to Grossman. Probably trying to remind him, get the ball down. You've had success the first 2 innings with pitches down. And that's what you want to try to continue to do.
Grossman hits one high in the air down the left field line. Gomes near the seats, and he's got room, and he makes the catch. And that's the second out.
Well, they're pitching Grossman nicely. At least the first 2 at bats. 2-0. He tried to pull the outside pitch, and you get a hitter who's a little home run conscious, and that's about all he could do. And down the line, Johnny Gomes had it covered. It's like playing at Fenway. You see him feeling for the sidewall. Not a lot of foul territory at Fenway where he played left field, and similar here at Minute Maid.
So here's Jose Altuve in this series, 5 plate appearances, just 9 pitches seen. But when you're leading the league in hitting, you can do whatever you want, however you want to approach it.
You know, I wonder if he even sits in on the scouting meetings, you know, because unless somebody says see ball, hit ball, he probably doesn't even want to hear it.
No. What he's doing is working.
That's right. Don't tell me what he throws, what percentage of times he will throw the pitch, because when he throws it and I like it, I'm going to swing at it.
Petit inches off. And that one down the right field line. On the move is Gentry. Can't get it. It bounces just fair, and it bounces. They go up into the seats, I believe, so it's going to be a double for Altuve as Petit stops at third.
That might have been a good break for the A's, because with 2 outs, Petit might have been at least attempting to score. Curveball left up, and just down the line, the speed of Gentry almost gets to it. He's going to cut it off, hit the warning track. He's trying to play the carom. Look at watch the ball spin into foul territory and up over into the seats. And with the runner, Petit running. And that ball hit the turf, or at least the warning track, and spun in to the seats.
So second and third, 2 outs for Carter, and the curveball is high. So double number 34 for Altuve. Overall, hit number 180 on the season. Carter fouls it back. Shift is on. And outfield playing fairly straight up. A little bit. Well, but Coco is playing extremely deep. He's out there. He is out there.
I think all 3 outfielders are playing deep.
Sure are.
And Hamill pitching out of the windup. No concern about the runner at third. And I say concern because you don't see that many pitchers pitching out of the windup with the runner at third. Nice block, actually. That's great technique by Soto. Curveball in front of it.
So 2-1 to Carter, who struck out looking in the first. Curve strike, 2-2.
I bet he didn't swing at that.
Yeah, getting a called strike there is probably the best thing.
Look at this. It's yelling, don't hit me. At least that's what Hamill was saying. That is a hanger. Right in the eyes.
And that one is line to left. Gomes racing over. Gomes dives, and he caught it.
Wow.
Johnny Gomes saves a pair of runs. Sensational play by the A's left fielder.
He might have taken a hanging curveball, but he crushed a 2-2 fastball, and Johnny Gomes perfectly making the play. Wow.
Robbed of RBIs and an extra base hit.
Well, Johnny Gomes made the great play in St. Petersburg 2012 against his former club, and then hit a home run. But this spectacular because it was going to be 2 runs. Johnny just left his feet, and I think he's more concerned about getting grass stain on his beard, because he popped up, cleaned his beard, and high fives all around. What a game-saving play at this point.
So here's Norris, Gomes, Fryman. Dallas Keuchel has retired 7 in a row. He has settled in. Norris reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning.
This could be a 0-0 game if Petit had handled his ground ball. Instead of double clutching and getting the force at second, kept the inning going for Gomes.
Changeup. Keuchel's got a good one. Keuchel was a 7th-round draft pick in 2009 out of the University of Arkansas. The Astros hoping that maybe they found a starter that they can plug in and rely on for the next 3, 4, 5 years.
Brent Strom would like to make fewer trips to the mound, and Keuchel should enable him to do that. Save some bullets, man.
That one just fouled. Keuchel, a couple of strikeouts, but he's a ground ball guy. He gets them as much as anybody. Highest ground ball percentage in the American League. Keuchel is first.
7 already tonight in the first 3 innings. And just as important, he has 7 batters that he's faced in the first 3 with 2 or fewer pitches. And after 23 in the first inning, then he's thrown just 17 in the next 2.
That one low, 3-2. So on top of lots of ground balls, we should not be surprised then that he's only allowed 10 home runs in 167 innings, and that is a very low amount. If you average a home run every 10 innings, that's pretty decent.
That's right.
10 per 100 innings. You pitch 200 innings, 20 home runs. That's pretty low. And there's a 3-2 changeup, and Norris strikes out, and that's one out. See, pitch location comparison between Keuchel and then the major league average, which is blue. So that's very interesting. Much higher percentage in the far right column, which is the most important column. So he is down around the knees most of the time.
And Derek Norris got a 3-2 changeup almost as if he was sure he was going to get a fastball. And I don't know that Keuchel will ever throw a 3-2 changeup, or a 3-2 fastball, that is.
I remember last year at the beginning of the season, very, very early, Astros starters were just getting knocked around as Gomes loops one into right field for a base hit. Inside out swing. So Gomes is 2 for 2.
Well, they're shifting him to the left, open up the right side. That's a little inside out swing by Johnny Gomes, and that is going against the shift as they expected him to pull the ball. Get the ball up the middle of his first at bat. This one to right field.
So hit number 2 for the Athletics, and here's Friday.
And Johnny's +3. He's driven in the only run and saved 2. So that's quite a night for him already.
Fryman struck out in the first. But last year, the A's played the Astros early in the season. The A's knocked the Astros starter out early, and Keuchel came in out of the bullpen, and he pitched 3 innings, and he pitched really well. And you and I looked at each other and went, this guy's got pretty good stuff. Yeah. We were impressed, and at that point he was pitching out of the bullpen, and then later on in the season he got moved to rotation. But this year, in the rotation right from the start. Low, blocked nicely by Castro. So 1-2 the count to Fryman. And I will say this: if you come up with the date and the game that I'm talking about, you are a genius, Ray Fawcett.
April 6th or 16th.
I knew it.
Actually had 2 3-inning stints.
All right, so I wasn't crazy. Down the left field line, and that's going to bounce off the wall. Gomes coming around third. They're waving him home. Throw to the plate is not in time. Throw to third is not made, and it's a triple for Fryman. Gomes comes around to score, and the A's lead 2-0.
Well, the left fielder had some kind of difficulty getting the ball. But Cap, you have said every time the A's play here, the left fielder is always playing way off the line. And this is an off-speed pitch that Fryman hooked down into the corner, and Grossman went after it. And then it carried him back and couldn't pick it up. And by the time he did, Johnny Gomes was being sent, and that was just enough. And there goes Big Nate all the way to third base. And there is in the corner, and it carried him back a little bit. Grossman had to go after it, and all the while, if you have to run that far to get to a ball, that makes it very difficult to be able to throw the ball in quickly enough to prevent the run from scoring. Johnny Gomes read it perfectly and able to score from first.
So it's not a triple, it's a double for Fryman. Goes to third on the throw. Yeah, if Grossman's playing the normal left field, Gomes is not going to score.
Absolutely. Great point.
He had another 7, 8, 10 feet to get into the corner. Nice play on the right field line. That fan reached up, went over the wall, and made the catch. Very impressive.
Well, Big Nate got the off-speed pitch and just reached down with his strength, able to hook it and hook it down in the corner. He did. And the fact that the ball carried back a little bit differently for Grossman, and by the time he got to the ball, but the key there too is for, of course, Fryman to hit the ball, but for Johnny Gomes to read it off of the bat and get a good jump and be able to be sent by Mike Gallego without any hesitation.
2-1 to Callaspo. 3-1 to Callaspo. So Johnny Gomes right in the middle of everything tonight. RBI single in the first. Single that scored here in the fourth.
And those are two important guys on this ball club. Nick Punto still on the disabled list. Johnny Gomes, of course, here.
Bouncer right to the shortstop. And Marlon Gonzalez flips to first. And Fryman stays at third.
I remember Nate worked with Ricky Henderson to change his swing, and he went down. He had got an off-speed pitch. But watch how the ball hits the wall, carries back towards left center. Grossman playing a little bit harder. I think it's going to come harder off the wall, but that gave Gomes enough chance to be sent by Gallego. But it's really like playing the Green Monster and the out-of-town scoreboard at Fenway Park. You get different caroms, because John is familiar having played at Fenway in left field. But the carom off the wall is different. The spin was different, and fortunately for the A's, run was able to be scored.
So Soto hits with 2 outs.
You cannot play a true hop off that kind of a wall, the scoreboard.
No, who knows what's going to happen.
Exactly, and I think that's what Grossman, you'd think, as a left fielder playing at home, it would at least have some idea of what's going to do.
And every one of those little squares has some type of edge to it, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Let's talk about a close-up. Yeah, it's a little indentation where the square is. You're right, and you kind of see how it's inlaid a little bit, and where those holes are, that's kind of set back an inch or two, and so it hits one of those corners, and it's going to spin back a little bit differently. And great shots there, because that shows it distinctly what happens.
2-2 to Soto, who struck out in the second inning. Gotta believe he's going to get a changeup at some point, maybe right now. It wasn't. It was a fastball, just a touch outside. 3-2.
You're just a pitch ahead, because now he's going to get it. Yeah, if he doesn't get it now, it'd be a shock. And if you get a fastball and you look at changeup, hit it to right field.
And it was a fastball, and he missed. So Soto, a couple of close takes, he gets the walk.
I asked Chili Davis, A's hitting coach, about just that thing. If you're facing a left-hander, of course the A's have faced a lot of lefties. He said the key is the velocity of his fastball. If he has a good changeup, and most lefties do, that you can sit soft, look for the changeup, and if he throws the fastball, a right-handed hitter, hit the ball to right field. But you don't want to be fooled by the changeup, and a few hitters have been fooled tonight getting the 3-2 changeups. But if you can sit back, think changeup, you get a fastball, you might hit it late, but you're going to have an entire right side of the infield to hit it through.
First pitch to Perino, outside. 67 pitches for Dallas Keuchel. 26 this inning. That one bounced over the bag. Altuve has it. He's going to hustle to second, and he gets there just ahead of Soto. Side retired. So a run on a couple of hits and a walk for the Athletics. So we're going to the bottom of the fourth. A's 2, Astros nothing. Proud sponsor of the Oakland A's, Kellymore.com. Bring inspiration home. 2-0 the A's lead, bottom of the fourth inning. The A's have won 3 out of 4. They're 77-53 on the year, tied with the Angels. Angels will get started in a little while.
Another important inning for Jason Hamill. He got a nice shutdown inning after Johnny Gomes brought home the first run in the first inning. Had a 1-2-3 first inning, just 9 pitches, and keeping the ball down a lot lower in tonight's game so far. Of course, the ball is scorched by Carter. A great diving play by Johnny Gomes. The ball was elevated a little bit on the fastball.
First pitch to Fowler at the knees first, right? Here's your standings. That wild card. Angels, of course, tied for the division, which means they're tied for the #1 wild card. Mariners have the second wild card. Tigers are a half game back of them. Yankees playing good baseball. They're closing in on that second wild card spot. So Mariners will host the Rangers tonight. Angels will host the Marlins. Foul to the right. And the Astros are going to be on the board. Long home run down the right field line, 2-1.
And that was 0-2. 0-2 fastball. Wow. They wanted it up, and that was center cut. And that's a little surprising. I don't know. For a pitcher that has a tough time at times pitching down in the zone, maybe trying to get him to elevate one is not a good idea, because he got it right in between the low fastball and the high fastball, and right down the middle, belt high. And that did not take long to get up.
So here's Castro, home run number 8 for Dexter Fowler. So his 10th home run allowed with the A's in 35 innings. So it has been an issue. 2-0 now to Castro with Marwin Gonzalez to follow. Castro was robbed of a hit by Nate Fryman, diving catch at first. So 2-0 pitch, Castro took it. It was right down the middle. Swing's driven toward left center. Coco on the move, settles underneath it, and that's out number 1. All right, check out the Astros home run celebration. Be ready. Please have the tunnel. Every team's got something now. So here's Marwin Gonzalez.
Think anybody go back just to shake hands?
I think those days are over, Ray.
I think so too.
Strike, 1-1. There's a little more celebrating going on, not just in baseball, but in all sports. Football's the worst.
Oh,
I mean,
aren't they penalized now for over celebrating?
Oh my goodness. I celebrate a 2-yard gain. It's amazing. Should be a rule, you know. You can only celebrate when you gain this many yards. Perino slides to his left, throws in time, 2 outs. So that'll bring up Singleton.
I like the tackles when they tackle somebody or they then you start running halfway down the field and I celebrate.
So Singleton, who struck out in the second inning, gets his second at bat. Singleton has now struck out 104 times in 252 at bats. The Astros as a team have the most strikeouts in the American League. No surprise there.
I would think the Astros have to feel like if this young man with all those strikeouts, when he starts making contact with the fastballs, things are going to change. And you have to figure that is something that Bo Porter is going to see and has seen in this young man. The Astros feel that he's going to be okay by signing him long term.
And I bet, Ray, he's always going to strike out a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
But 104 times in 253 at bats, that's probably too much at this point. But if it gets better, even a little bit, he's going to hit a lot of home runs. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Well, that game that we talked about on the 30th, this was an opposite field home run. Crawford boxes it on. He just reached out, and that showed the power of him to take the outside fastball and serve it out to left field in the seats.
Very close pitch, 3-1 to Singleton.
It looked like a pretty good pitch, to be honest. And Soto on the inside corner, and you have to wonder how much it missed. Not by much.
Fastball is high, and it's a walk for Singleton in 2 outs. It's the first walk issued by Jason Hamill. There's the home run breakdown for Singleton.
And the old saying about if he kind of shortens the swing and eliminates the strikeouts, it hits more to left field with the power that he has, and especially with the Crawford boxes, short left field fence. See, Nate's talking to Singleton. See, That's why they got rid of me, because you were up and coming.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And I knew that you had the chance of playing first base, so I was asked to move on. Do you know what? The young man named Polanco was playing for the Pirates and was just sent back to AAA. I guess they came up fine, having a great season, but as was said, he was sent back, unlike in previous years where if they weren't trying to win, they might have given him a chance. Well, Singleton, Springer, all these kids are getting a chance to play here because they're not expected to win now. In the future, yes, so they get the major league experience. And this is good experience for them. But once they get to the point where they're having success as a team, then they might not have the luxury of keeping or those players sticking around and not having some kind of success.
Yeah, Polanco, really, I mean, he's one of the best prospects in all of baseball. Started out hot, must have cooled off.
Yeah, cooled off enough that even though the rosters increase on Monday, they wanted to get some more at bats at AAA until then.
Fouled straight back. 1-2 to Marisnik. Craig Biggio on the right. Jeff Luhnow, the general manager, on the left.
Now, Craig Biggio asked me about, and we have that great high home camera at the Coliseum that we use, and he said he always liked to see that camera as opposed to the center field because he wanted to see east to west, as it calls it, whether the pitchers were off the plate, on the plate, and of course over 3,000 hits. But that's a great camera we have at the Coliseum to be able to show right over the plate. And here's a player said, I'll take that shot anytime. I want to see where those pitches are. So kudos to our crew and having that camera back at the Coliseum for us to show, but also the players utilizing it as well.
Craig Biggio likes it where we are.
I guess he was a doubles machine, right? In his career.
One and 2 to Marisnik, who grounded out to third. His first at bat. This one tapped slowly up the first baseline, but triples foul. The Biggio resume, which is going to get him into the Hall of Fame probably next year. He came up just a couple votes short this year. 7-time All-Star, over 3,000 hits. See the doubles, 668 doubles.
That also started what is a second baseman, catcher, or catcher, second baseman. They moved all around different positions. Special assistant to the GM, seems sitting with Jeff Luhnow. So they missed it this year by 2 votes, but this year they increased the writers 39 to 41 or something like that. And he said those 2 added, they needed, instead of the 39, they needed the 41. And they missed it by 2, but I'd say he'll get there.
So what you're saying is there's 2 voters that didn't think he was a Hall of Famer this year, but they will think he's a Hall of Famer next year.
Of course, yeah. I agree with you 100%. Yeah.
Long look by Hamill. Breaking ball, 2-2.
So another good block, and he does a good job of smothering the ball in the dirt. Matter of fact, he went down and blocked the previous pitch that was fouled just down the line. Marisnik went down and almost took it off the ground. But this is technique. Watch how he smothers the ball. He is just trying to keep it in front of him, blocking it. He puts the catcher's mitt on the ground between the legs, and that's a good job of smothering the ball. And you don't want to lift the glove up to try to catch it. You want the glove on the ground to kind of close off the wickets.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out with a fastball. So strikeout number 3 for Jason Hamill. Dexter Fowler with a home run. Craig Biggio liked it, and the Astros are on the board. So it's a 2-1 game after 4. CSNCA fan photo. Put your name down and your hometown down for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. 2-1 game, top of the 5th inning. Dexter Fowler with a solo shot, and the Astros have a run. Keiko faces the top of the A's order. Easy play for Altuve, and Keiko Crisp is retired. So 1 away, and that'll bring up Gentry. That Marlins Angels game tonight, it'll be Nate Eovaldi for the Marlins, 6-8 against Matt Shoemaker, 12-4. Last night, Miami won 7-1. So the Marlins and Angels will play tomorrow night. And then, of course, the A's will be in Anaheim Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. After that, for the Angels, they will head out on a long road trip starting next week. They will come here to Houston, and then Minnesota, and then Texas. So while they're out on the road, the A's will be home next week. Rangers and the Mariners will get started in about 40 minutes. Martinez for Texas. James Paxton, the young left-hander, for Seattle.
By the way, the Angels played on the last road trip. I don't know if they really mind going on the road. Swept the Red Sox 4 games, first time since 1962. 4-game sweep at Fenway. Played well on the road trip before heading back home. Finished up in Oakland. Of course, the A's fortunate to win 2 out of 3 at the end of the trip. Hey, maybe the Angels played like the A's did at the end of a 3-city trip. They lost the series, and that's what happened to the Angels in Oakland.
Angels 41-24 at home, 36-29 on the road. So their home and road records are very similar to the Athletics. Gentry taps swing to short. Gonzalez knows he has to hurry. Throws. Got him.
Join the A's for Faith and Family Day, Saturday, September the 6th. This popular postgame event features A's players sharing their testimonials, as well as performance by Donnie Moore and the Radical Reality Team. And remember, you must purchase a special ticket to participate in the festivities. For more information, go to athletics.com/faith. And if you've never seen Donnie Moore and the Radical Reality Team, be there, because he'll break bricks, he'll rip frying pans, take a yellow page and rip it. Yellow page book, rip it in half.
That's right. Shake his hand, he'll never be the same.
Steve Sparks, who is next door, actually went to one of the performances. He saw Donnie Moore take the yellow page book and rip it in half. He went back to his hotel room, tried to do it, went on the disabled list. Intercostal strain.
And we love Sparky. Steve Sparks is one of the nicest guys in baseball. But we just want to say, Steve, what are you doing?
That was funny. Every time Donnie Moore looks for him, he says, "Have you seen Sparky?" He says, "Sparky's not looking for you."
He does not want to talk about it.
That's when Steve was pitching, and boy, he said, "I can do that." Not everybody can do it.
He's a knuckleballer.
That's right. There he is, Steve Sparks.
Spent a lot of time with the Brewers.
But how about that? When knuckleball pitcher faces the Astros, he throws BP, uses the knuckleball. It's kind of an advantage for him.
It is, no question. Donaldson with a hit. 2-out single for Josh. So 4 hits for the Athletics, and that'll bring up Norris.
Well, how about Donaldson and change up? We got out in front and got the leg kick, and sometimes with the leg kick you get a change up, it can throw off the timing, but Donaldson seemed to handle all kinds of pitches.
Fun talking to him last night. Got his at bat in the 9th inning against Jose Veras, where he said he was looking for a slider the whole at bat, and it's funny, he got one slider that was way outside. He got another slider that dropped in for a strike that he took, and he kept looking for it, and he finally got one, and he got a hit. Altuve throws to first. Singleton cannot come up with it clean, and everybody's safe.
Yeah, he bobbled it, and That was the key for Paul Emmel to watch the bobble. Somebody slowed it down for Altuve to be able to get to the ball and almost make a spectacular play. Tucker might have got a glove on it, but you know the hop was far enough out in front of Singleton. It should have been a relatively easy play for him to make. He just kind of handcuffed himself and almost didn't have to stretch. Just take the hop, plenty of time, but it went down to one knee, tried to make the play and couldn't hang on. So nice hustle by Derek Norris to get the infield hit.
I agree with you, Ray. I think there's an art to stretching, and not all first basemen are good at it.
That's right.
And I don't. He could have stretched out further, or maybe not stretched at all, and I think he would have got a better hop. It goes as an error on the first baseman.
That is rare. It's
that
usually
is rare.
The person making the throw gets the air, not the one trying to catch the short hop. And you know that's.
Well, I don't know that I agree with that. I mean,
well,
it's still a ball in the dirt, and I know we're talking about how Singleton maybe could have made the play, but that doesn't mean it's not a difficult play. It is still you're digging a ball out of the dirt.
Yeah, I agree, because anytime the ball's in the dirt,
that should just about be it.
Yeah, you cannot assume that the one trying to catch the ball should get the air. Now they probably gave him the air because he had it initially but dropped it, but still the ball was bounced by Altuve. So I think the man making the call tonight is 0 for 2.
So the A's have an opportunity. It is 0-2 to Gomes, who's had a big night, 2 for 2, 2 singles, RBI run scored, and he could the A's that run back. He bounces this one to Altuve, big hop, side retired. So A's strand a pair, bottom of the 5th coming up. It'll be Petit, Grossman, and Altuve. 2-1 the A's lead. PG&E. See our progress in your town at pgne.com/crprogress. Downtown Houston. Beautiful look. A nice city. A's with a 2-1 lead over the Astros. Jason Hamill, a home run to Dexter Fowler. That was in the 4th inning. Last inning. The only run he has allowed so far. Sitting right at 60 pitches, 22 in that 4th inning. And they'll face Gregorio Petit to lead it off. First pitch, and Petit dribbles one toward Fryman, who grabs it, 1 out.
Nate Fryman on the Atlanta series shaking his head there because the 2 plays he's already made tonight, diving to rob a couple of guys of hits, probably the easiest play is the one he just handled, but it's the same play that he messed up in Atlanta and really was fighting himself, and see him shaking his head, probably thinking that that's the easy one, and it was hardest to make because he had a funny spin on it, but he handled it nicely.
Here's Grossman. Grossman with a fly ball to center field and a fly ball to left field. So he's 1 for 6 in the series. That one's hit in the air to right field and hit well. Gentry's back. He's got just enough room, and he makes the catch.
Well, you're right. Just enough room in front of the 373. If he pulls it, different story, but that's a little bit deeper in the right center field area. Hamill taking a deep breath because Grossman got him on the 30th. A 2-run home run, but could not quite pull this one. And Gentry playing him perfectly. A little bit farther at the 373 in the right center field area.
The Astros have 3 runs in this series so far, and all 3 have come on home runs, and that's kind of the way they do things. They are 2nd in the league in home runs hit, but yet 10th in the league in runs scored. So their main weapon is the long ball. Altuve takes a big rip. He has grounded out, and he has doubled. So Altuve now with 180 hits. That's the most in the major leagues. And his batting average 334. That is also the highest mark in the major leagues. Stride inside corner 0-2.
Robbie Cano still behind him. I think he was treading him.
Robbie Cano is behind him by a fairly small margin.
6 or 7 points for him, and maybe pretty close. Goes up to 334 as Altuve would have hit the last at bat.
Maspo has it, flips to first, and that's a 6-pitch inning. Nice 3-up, 3-down inning for Jason Hamill.
.2014 postseason rights. Just place a deposit on a 2015 A's ticket plan and secure your place in line for 2014 postseason tickets. For more information, call 510-638-GO-A's or go to athletics.com/deposit.
So it's a 2-1 A's lead. It's the top of the 6th inning. Pitch to Fryman is hit high in the air to right field. Sneak has it. So 1 away. So Nate Fryman, an RBI double, and he has made a couple nice plays defensively.
Diving, robbing Altuve of a base hit. If he loses the batting championship, it might because that play. There's another diving play. And then how about the double down the left field line, Kierman off the wall. And Grossman taking a little bit extra time. Johnny Gomes scoring all the way from first. Big Nate getting the third. And unfortunately, Big Nate was stranded at third, and that I hope there's not turning out to be a big run the A's didn't score.
One away for Cayaspo. That fly ball off the bat of Nate Fryman is the first fly ball out tonight for Dallas Keuchel. And we talked about his ground ball ratio being one of the best in all of baseball, and he has showed it tonight.
Great numbers: 3 strikeouts, 12 ground ball outs, just 1 fly.
Remember, the run in the first inning was unearned. It was his error that made it unearned.
Well, to be honest, I think he's gotten the benefit of the official score tonight because there are 2 errors in the game that both really could have been, well, the one that Altuve, maybe he should have gotten the error, but still, the A's will take whatever runs they can get.
Cayaspo is retired, and that's the second out.
Kind of between innings, I learned something from Steve Sparks next door as I went next door to tell him that we highlighted him on the.
Oh, I bet he loved it. You had to go over there, didn't you?
Yeah, but you know what? You know what?
There.
But I learned something, Kai, because he was very quick. He thanked us because he said it's the 6th dumbest sports injury of all time. He said number 6, and I said who are the top 5? And he said everybody else, but I said maybe Brian Anderson who tried to iron his shirt with the shirt on.
Yeah, that's never easy to do.
But no, Sparky was very proud of the fact that we even talked about it. So he's, there he is. And he said that number 6, I mean, when you're on a list, the top 10 for something, I guess that's important. Maybe not that important for that particular reason, but he is on the list nonetheless.
Outside, 2-1 to Giovanni Soto. Hard hit ball under the glove of the shortstop Marwin Gonzalez and into left center field. Gonzalez had a play on it, but it was hit very hard, so it would be a hit for Soto.
Well, they got the 2-1. He got the fastball. He was ready for it and hit it hard. I mean, when you're the rookie of the year, that means you put up some pretty good numbers offensively. As a catcher, winning the award. He's number 6 and 6th to have won the award in the catcher.
So 2-out hit. Here's Perino. Sinker is low. Funny, Ray, we have not seen Keuchel really throw a lot of breaking pitches. Maybe that has to do with all the right-handed hitters in the lineup. He's really been fastball changeup.
And an occasional cutter. Yeah, but not even a lot of cutters, which is it's considered a breaking pitch, but it's not been thrown a lot by him. And the A's now, pretty much whenever, Donaldson's going to play every day. Coco, of course, has been a switch hitter, but you can actually throw a complete right-handed lineup in against the left-hander, and the A's have had their struggles against the southpaw.
Pitch number 95 coming up from Keuchel. Perino has bounced out twice to the second baseman. Keuchel does not throw too many balls in the middle of the plate. He stays away quite a bit.
And it seems like every time a runner gets on base, he goes to the slide step. He never, very rarely, lifts the front leg. And Soto's not really a candidate to run. Maybe he just feels comfortable pitching that way, and we will see tomorrow night. Drew Pomeranz is scheduled to pitch tomorrow night in series finale. He will begin the game out of the stretch. Now, Keuchel, I don't think I've seen him once tonight with a runner at first go to anything but the slide step, keeping the front foot, right foot close to the ground.
3-2. Soto takes off, and the pitch is bounced over the mound right to Altuve. Waits for a big hop, throws in time. So Perino is retired. A hit and a runner left. Bottom of the 6th coming up. It'll be Carter, Fowler, and Castro. 2-1 the A's lead.
jumped on a first pitch fastball. Craig Gentry scores the A's first run. Nate Fryman with Johnny Gomes at first. Hooks the ball down in the corner. And Grossman a little slow picking up the ball for Gomes, able to score from first base. And then Dexter Fowler, though, with Jason Hamill, the 2-0 lead. 0-2 fastball right in the middle of the plate. And it was one of those swung on, gone. And that's how quickly it went left. But A's are still ahead 2-1. As the Astros only 3 hits given up to with Jason Hamill as he pitches the 6th inning.
Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. That's since July 1st, Chris Carter has the most home runs and most RBIs in all of baseball. How about that? Best slugging percentage, 3rd best OPS, and what the batting average? 287. So nobody has hit more home runs in the last 2 months than Chris Carter. This one skied in the air, foul territory.
You know, he was with the Athletics, of course, being traded to the Astros, and I think he started his career 0 for 33, something like that, and came back again. But he seemed to say, and people said, that wherever Chris Carter played, he always started slowly. But I don't know that Chris Carter's ever going to hit for a big average, but if he could hit home runs and drive in runs, he's going to be able to do some serious damage that way.
The A's and the Astros played early in the season, and Chris Carter was really not doing anything. But that has changed. 1-2 pitch, and he swings and misses at a curveball, and that's the strikeout. And strikeout number 4 for Hamill.
And that's pretty much what you try to do. As Margin talked about last night, throwing the sliders and in the dirt, get him to swing and miss, and he will strike out as Singleton, and pitches like that where he maybe recognizes the breaking pitch late, but also the fact that it's out of the strike zone. That's a good, how about that comparison? A little bit different tonight than July the 30th.
And also Hamill pitching on 10 days rest, so he's going to be pretty fresh. Last start was started in Atlanta on August 15th. That was the Friday night game in that series. That one's hit high in the air. Coco deep left center, but lots of room in that area. 2 outs. 6 in a row retired by Jason Hamill. He's at only 72 pitches. There's Jason Castro. Castro trying to break out of a tough stretch. He's 0 for 2 tonight, and he's 0 for his last 18.
Well, Fowler hit the ball exactly where Hamill wanted, left center. Castro his last at bat, straightaway center. Trying to pull a ball, but again, that's a big part of the park. Straightaway center field, as long as you hit toward Taos Hill in center field. Because that is it's a road trip. Yes, it is. I mean, you have to go up the incline and then 236 straight away.
Curveball outside corner. Castro doesn't agree with Mike Estabrook.
He called that a strike?
He did.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe my assumption that it was a ball is honestly incorrect. Want to go up the ladder again.
Curveball inside to even the count at 2-2.
It's going to call that outside curveball. Might as well go back door again. Leave it out there, maybe get the call.
Coming inside. Coco coming in, and Coco goes into a slide, and he caught it. Next play by Coco Crisp in left center field. So that's 7 in a row retired by Jason Hamill, and the 7th inning is coming up. 2-1 the A's.
Coco with your very own Coco Crisp replica jersey, presented by Cash Creek Casino Resort at the 1:05 p.m. Labor Day matinee against the Seattle Mariners, September the 1st. 15,000 fans will walk away with this authentic green replica A's jersey. For information and tickets, visit athletics.com/tickets today. That's a Labor Day matinee. That will be next Monday. The A's will play tomorrow night here in Houston, 4 in Anaheim, and Monday at the Coliseum. The Labor Day matinee. So the A's will be laboring on Labor Day. Monday, day game, following the day game in Anaheim.
So Coco will lead it off. He walked in the first and then has grounded out twice. Coco was 0 for 4 last night with a walk, RBI, and a run scored. All part of that 5-run 9th inning he's had last night. It's a strike, 1-1 the count, and make it 0-2 the count.
Coco swung at the first pitch. His last at bat grounded out to Altuve. That was a fastball. This time he got a changeup first pitch, then a fastball. Both pitches strikes.
And that one close, just missed. So the count 1-2. Right at 100 pitches is Dallas Keuchel. Singleton, the first baseman, is way off the line. I mean, way off. A little bit inside to even the count at 2-2. Drew Pomeranz is going to pitch tomorrow for the Athletics. Fields and Volkanevich. The right-handers warming up. Singleton has it. Long underhand throw, and Keuchel beats Coco to the bag in a very close play. So 1 out. So with Pomeranz starting tomorrow, the A's have lined up their 4 top pitchers: Gray, Lester, Kazmir, Samardzija for the big series this weekend. For the Angels, it'll be Wilson on Thursday, Weaver on Friday. They are still undecided about Saturday, and Matt Shoemaker, who's pitching tonight, he's going to pitch on Sunday. So there's your matchups, and we'll wait and see about who the Angels send to the mound on Saturday. There's a lot of waiver rumors going on. Are the Angels going to get a pitcher?
It's not Bartolo Colon, is it? He's cleared supposedly.
Center field, and Fowler has it, and that's out number 2. Yeah, Bartolo Colon is cleared, but it could, I mean, now they could make a deal.
Yeah.
And they would not have to deal with the waiver issue. But saw A.J. Burnett's name out there.
He's scheduled to pitch against the A's when the Phillies come in along with Jerome Williams.
So we'll see if the Angels do anything.
You know, Bob Melvin, of course, he's very good in dealing with committee. He did not want anybody to interpret the A's hanging, or at least having the 4 top starters pitch against the Angels this weekend. He says nothing against the Astros. He said it gives every starter an extra day rest going into the big series over the weekend, but said by no means does it mean that they're taking the Astros lightly tomorrow night in the series finale. And rightfully so, because the Astros actually had a winning record against the A's here at Minute Maid Park before last night. Now it's at 500.
Well, listen, if there's ever a time to do it, and I mean, basically, I mean, part of it is to giving your guys an extra rest for the final month. But listen, the main reason is you want your 4 guys going up against the Angels. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. 3-0 now to Donaldson. And Ryan Cook starts to throw.
And that's lightly. So with 2 outs, that's kind of get up just in case, starting the bottom of the 7th inning.
Donaldson goes after the 3-0 pitch and bounces it foul into the on-deck circle.
Pitch count's great for him. Well, of course, he's pitched outstandingly for 6 innings, and it's like he will go out for the 7th. Chad Qualls, and they have a deal. I guess the Pirates or the Tigers have claimed him, and they have a chance to make a deal by tomorrow. I guess tomorrow is the final day. The question is whether Qualls will pitch in tonight's game, even if the situation rose for him to come in the game.
Chad Qualls is doing a lot of closing.
Yeah, exactly.
For the Astros.
He's only had 2 bad games, and both of them against the A's at Saturday at the Coliseum, and the one here on the 29th when the A's scored 6 in the 9th inning. Donaldson swung 3-0, now 3-2.
And a fastball just a touch inside. So Donaldson is on board for the 3rd time. 3 walks, 3 strikeouts for Dallas Keuchel.
Brent Strom's coming out, and Keuchel looked in the dugout almost as if to say, Bo, don't come out. Brent can come out and talk to me, but I want to get through this inning.
So the hitter will be Norris.
Brent Strom might have been going out to tell him. Bo didn't come out, but Bo said, you got one more batter. Because to get a run in scoring position, might have to go to the bullpen.
So Norris, who has reached on a fielder's choice, struck out and reached on an error. So he's been on base twice, but he's 0 for 3. So pitch number 110 coming up for Dallas Keuchel. Hit fouled on the right field line into the first row of the 2nd level. Cook throwing, and now Abad joins him. Drops a little bit more. Keuchel's thrown as many as 128 pitches this year. That is by far the most he has thrown in any one game. 114 is the 2nd highest total. Missed outside, and now it's 2-1. Gomes will be next if Norris can keep the inning going. Shoots it foul, and now it's even 2-2.
The pitcher likes to finish the inning. Of course, in the case of Keuchel, if he can get through this 7th, it probably will be his last inning. Maybe even his last batter, but at least he'll get back in the dugout, giving his club a chance to come back. So like you said, Keuchel, with fastball changeup, and Derek Norris, a catcher, maybe trying to figure out what he would call for himself. Sometimes that's not good.
The 2-2 pitch is ripped foul into the seats right above the A's dugout.
So 3 is a cutter. That's what Castro went to. Lucky the ball was pulled foul that it didn't go in to the Crawford boxes. It did get in far enough that all he could do was pull it. After the cutter in, figure change up away or fastball away. Maybe that was just a show pitch.
Concern the seats behind the A's dugout. Fan may have got hit by that last foul ball. Another 2-2 pitch.
Fastball away.
And now 3-2.
So back-to-back 3-2 counts. Donaldson 3-0 swung, fouled it, ended up walking. Now 3-2 to Derek Norris. He struck out in his second at bat on the 3-2 changeup. Castro remembers. Norris remembers. This time it's a fastball.
Donaldson runs in. Norris reaches for it. Just stays alive. So pitch number 117 coming up from Keuchel. And here it is, and it's popped up, and it should reach the seats, and it will.
Cook and Abad started throwing just maybe to get loose for the bottom of the seventh. I think they're loose enough now. They've been throwing for quite a while. Started throwing once 2 outs were recorded by Keuchel, and that happened with just 6 pitches, the first 2.
Bouncer to the right side. Altuve has it. So Keuchel gets Norris after a long at bat. So 7 good innings from Dallas Keuchel, but 7th inning stretch, and the A's are leading 2-1. Dave's talking about, and I think it was right here at Minute Maid Park in Houston. 6 great innings for Jason Hamill. The only run, the Dexter Fowler home run in the 4th inning. So he goes to work here in the bottom of the 7th. Gonzalez, Singleton, Marisnik. And the A's bullpen is loose and ready to go. Foul straight back. Gonzalez a single and a ground out to short. So 1 for 2 tonight and 4 for 6 in the series.
Keuchel's had his share of ground ball outs tonight, but Hamill also 7 ground ball outs, 7 fly ball outs. And his 4 strikeouts for his 18 outs so far.
Curve and a good one. Drops right in there for a strike.
The Astros so far in this game have maybe been looking for the higher type curveball that they saw in the start on the 29th of July, but the sharp breaking curve tonight has ended up down in the strike zone, which is good.
And that one in the dirt as Gonzalez lays off. 2-2 the count. No finals yet in the American League. A lot of games getting late. Down the left field line foul. Rangers Mariners just getting started. Marlins Angels just getting started out on the West Coast. Pitch is chopped to Donaldson. He's got to wait. He fires and they caught him. What a play. I didn't think they had any chance to get Gonzalez, and they did.
Now both point at the top step, but nice stretch by Dave Fryman. A very strong arm and a great throw by Josh Donaldson. He had to wait for the ball to come down, but watch how quickly catch, throw, and stretch. And what a great play by Josh Donaldson. Boy, it's great to possess a strong arm, and he got him. That was a step, then he stretched and got it. There's your 6'8" frame. Had to help there with a nice stretch. Okay, you talk about the importance of first baseman stretching and doing the right job, and Nate Fryman did stretch nicely. Donaldson, he did not have time except just to catch and hope he had a great grip. He did, and Nate kept his foot on the bag, which looked like he did. He got him by half step.
So 1-1 to Singleton.
Check the left foot, the right foot.
Yeah.
Just pushed off enough, didn't he?
How can you not challenge that?
Well, especially with the foot. Exactly. I mean, the throw beat him. It's just a question of the foot being on the bag, and that shot showed that maybe was not the case. The protest by Joe Madden and the Rays was not allowed by Major League Baseball on the one with the Rays and the Blue Jays.
Yep. They went with the umpire's discretion part of the rule.
Yeah, he said Gibbons was on his way. He had a half a step out of the dugout before Burley got on the mound.
Yeah. Bob Davidson right in the middle of that. Good pitch, strike 3 called right on the corner. 2 outs.
Well, if there's ever a time to pitch down in the zone with a fastball, this is it. We saw Singleton go to the opposite field late July, and this time, though, no chance on this one. That is a great location on the fastball outside. And more tonight, Cap, as we talked in our open, the key is keeping the ball down, and so far, with the exception of one high fastball, that was to Gonzalez, and he singled sharply to left field back in the second inning. By and large, everything has been down tonight. Oh, there's one.
Floated up there a little bit.
Good swing at it, though.
Pitch number 90 coming up. There's Nick, a ground out and a strikeout. Goal for 5 in the series. That one was a bit of a hanger, but Hamill got away with it.
Well, looks like Dallas Keuchler's evening is finished. Field's ready to come in. Came in last night's game. a good block by Soto, and that's important with 2 strikes because sure you block pitches in the dirt with runners on base, but 2 strikes on a hitter. If he should swing at a bad pitch and you don't block it, you can advance to first base. And Soto, one thing he's shown tonight, stays down low, blocks pitches in the dirt nicely.
Fastball swing and a miss. So good inning for Jason Hamill. A couple of strikeouts, and we're on to the 8th inning. It's the A's 2 and it's the Astros 1.
Did in the first inning with this RBI single, first pitch from Dallas Keuchel. Took a couple of innings, but he also did it again. How about this play? Chris Carter absolutely roped one. Johnny Gomes laid out, flat out, and saved 2 runs by making a spectacular catch on a hard drive by Chris Carter. So Johnny Gomes +3. A's are leading 2-1. We'll be facing a new pitcher.
When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. And it's Josh Fields, who pitched an inning last night. So Fields will face the pinch hitter Reddick here in the 8th inning. And Reddick is hitting for Gomes. So Stephen Vogt has come out into the on-deck circle, and he will hit for Friday. 2 runs, 1 earned for Dallas Keuchel, and he threw 118 pitches. Fastball first strike, 1-1. Reddick with the home run last night. Not close.
As we saw last night in the big 5-run 9th inning started, Tony Sipp was brought in to face a couple of lefties. But this was against Scott Feldman, who started the game, 3rd home run. Fastball inside. Reddick hands in. 2-run home run, 3-0 lead for the Athletics at that time. And Reddick hitting his 10th home run. Not start the game, but pinch hitting here in the 8th inning.
Fastball outside corner, and it's 2-2. Bounced right to Singleton. Big hop, steps on the bag, and Reddick is out. 1 away here in the top of the 8th inning, and that'll bring up another pinch hitter. It'll be Stephen Vogt. So Vogt is hitting for Fryman. Vogt was 1 for 5 last night. Fryman on the night had a big hit, an RBI double. He was 1 for 3. Pitches for Jason Hamill.
What a performance tonight by Hamill. Just 3 hits and 1 walk. That's the run, a home run.
Good pitch there, right at the knees, and Vogt now behind in the count, 1-2. Melvin giving them the handshake.
7 strong innings, and then you can turn it over to the bullpen. Figure that's quite a performance, and that's why the smile on Hamill's face with the handshake from the skipper.
So after the 10-day rest for Jason Hamill, he basically skipped one time. He comes back strong here in Houston.
Some guys can pitch with extra rest, a lot of extra rest. Luke Gregerson's getting loose for the bottom of the 8th inning. Some like to pitch in the normal turn, starters that is.
And 2 pitch, broken bat, center field, shallow. Fowler coming in, and Fowler will grab it. So that's the 2nd out here in the 8th inning. Starting pitchers pitch well tonight, and both are done for the evening. Humberto Callaspo is 0 for 3. Hitless in the series. He's 0 for 8. He came in as a hot hitter. Pitch to Callaspo was a fastball outside, 96 miles an hour.
Callaspo getting the start at second tonight. Of course, the strong arm from third base, playing second. He's played very well at second base and swinging the bat well before this series. And of course, home run Sunday, first home run since April for Callaspo. Punto's getting close. He's on the trip, and he is doing some running and hitting. We might see him activated before the weekend. The real problem for players who are on the disabled list for going out of rehab is, Nick, and that is that spring minor league seasons are ending as of Monday, Labor Day. Unless the team happens to be in the playoffs, you don't get much rehab assignment. There's some players that just don't want to go and don't go whenever they're asked to, which they have that option.
So 1-2 to Callaspo. And now 2-2. Jed Lowry still out. Important middle infielders missing for the A's. The 2-2 pitch is bounced foul right between Ty Waller and the first baseman John Singleton.
Field it. Or just be a fan and let it go to a fan.
Pitch, foul back. Casper with a couple of ground ball outs and a fly ball to right. I got to say, Ray, the Astros bullpen,
I know what you're going to say.
It's about as slow as of any team in the league.
You were going to say it. I agree with you.
Every one of them walks around.
Put a clock on them.
Yeah. Maybe next year.
Well, they come in late. They have to rub up the baseballs.
Every time. Foltynewicz, hard-throwing young right-hander who was up earlier. Right into the glove of Marwin Gonzalez. So Fields has a 3-up, 3-down inning. Bottom of the 8th coming up. It'll be Petit, Grossman, Altuve. A's hanging on, leading 2-1.
California is brought to you by Xfinity, home of the most live sports, and by Toyota, #1 in MPG, durability, and resale value. Toyota, let's go places.
Game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 2-5-0 for the A's, 1-3-2 for the Astros. Jason Hamill, very good tonight. 7 innings, just 3 hits. The only run was a home run. And a big night for Johnny Gomes. Not only a couple of hits, but he made a terrific play that saved 2 runs. So, big night for Johnny Gomes. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. So it's going to be the setup man, Luke Gregerson. Gregerson having a great year, 3-2, 2.17 ERA. And the 8th inning is his. We have wholesale changes defensively for the Athletics. I'll give those to you. Gentry goes over to left field. Reddick now in the game in right field. So Gentry in left, Crispin center, Reddick in right, and also a couple changes on the infield. Get to those momentarily. Sogard comes in the game at second base. Vogt pinch hit, so he's in the game at first base. And we got a pinch hitter For the Astros, it's Mark Krause, big, strong, left-handed hitter. So Krause hitting for Gregorio Petit.
And he is a power hitter.
And he swings at the first pitch, right back to Gregerson, 1 out.
I'm just going to say, try to pull the outside pitch, and he did. He tried to pull the Gregerson threw him a slider. Shocking. Slider master. As Gregerson mentioned in the paper today about the workload. It was mentioned along with time for Clippard and Brad Ziegler as far as the most appearances by relievers setting up. And Gregerson's been outstanding for the Athletics, but I think as we talked last night, Bob Melvin decided to leave Gregerson in this 8th inning. And of course, looks like O'Flaherty, who was up in the 9th inning last night, if he's going to be the chosen one to try to close it out. We'll see. The A's would like to get to the 9th inning with the lead. Nothing to worry about at that point.
Off the glove, Sogard a nice play, throws, and Vogt missed it. So it did not appear that the ball was in the dirt to Vogt.
Wow. Good play by Sogard, charged it, and Stephen Vogt just turned his glove up the proper way and did just miss it. And that's just a miss, had him by plenty.
Well, now the Astros better hitters are coming up. It starts with Altuve, so it's going to be an error on Vogt. And here's Altuve, who's 1 for 3 with a double and a couple of groundouts. And the first pitch hit him. Up around the shoulder area.
That was a slider that just didn't break, unfortunately. And Gregerson knows it, left it inside. Altuve couldn't get out of the way. Carried off with his shoulder up into his helmet. Check the left shoulder. He turned late. No, he's hitting straight on the left shoulder.
So 2 on, 1 out. And it's Chris Carter stepping up. After Carter, it'll be the switch hitter, Dexter Fowler. A couple of doubles for Carter in his career against Gregerson. Good speed on the bases for the Astros. And Carter takes a pitch inside.
Gregerson needs those turbo sinker, turbo sliders to Chris Carter, who is a powerful young man, as we have seen.
Carter is 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts. He hit that line drive that Johnny Gomes made a diving play on in the 3rd inning with 2 outs and runners at 2nd and 3rd. It would have scored 2. And there's an off-speed pitch. Actually, it was not off-speed. It was a fastball with a lot of sinking life to it.
That was kind of the turbo sinker. Watch it go down, and that's the key. Actually, it'd been nice if we could have put the ball and play on a ground ball with somebody on the left side of the infield. Get the big man to hit the ball on the ground to somebody. He's going to hit it hard, you figure, because he is strong.
And that one hit high to left. Astros lead 4-2.
Does that ball come down yet? Because a hanger, a crushed. I mean, this ball exploded off his bat.
That one was up around the train track. And that was not down the line either.
No, that was a monster shot, and unfortunately, and you can look at the reality of this inning, maybe shouldn't even come up, because if things had happened, get an air hit batter, and you put the bat in his hand, he is strong.
So home run number 32 for Chris Carter, and watch where it lands.
Yeah, wow. Up on the tracks. That's Albert Pujols area in the 2005.
Fowler swings and misses, and it's 0-2. Boy said, boy, it's a bad feeling when you're on the road and you give up a lead in the bottom of the 8th, because you feel like you're close to a win.
Yeah. And especially after your starter has done a tremendous job.
That one hit down the right field line. Reddick into the corner, and he leaps, and he caught it. So that's the second out. Now, off the bat, Ray, it didn't have that sound, and it gets fairly short in that part of this ballpark.
Yeah, it's like it jammed it, but very short and hooking. And Reddick,
I don't know that that would have got out if he didn't catch it, but
probably not. But and I agree with you. Off the bat, it did not sound like it was crisp, not like what Fowler hit in the 4th inning with the fastball.
There's Castro. Castro hits it hard. Sogard with a nice play, gets up, throws in time, side retired. So Chris Carter with a huge blow, a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 8th inning. Sportsnet California is brought to you by Prism. Now your team can collaborate at a whole new level with video walls from Prism. Learn how at prism.com. So Chris Carter with a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 8th inning to give the Astros a 4-2 lead. So final chance for the Athletics. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. So Chad Qualls comes in. He's got 14 saves. As Ray mentioned earlier, he's had a couple of tough outings against the A's this year. A couple of blown saves against the Athletics. And we'll see if that has any chance of happening here. Matt Dominguez is the new third baseman. And Sam Fold is going to hit for Soto. And First pitch is a strike. So full pinch hitting here, leading off the ninth, to be followed by Perino and then Coco Crisp. Strike 2, 0-2. Qualls with that 3/4 delivery. He's got a lot of sink on his pitches, especially his fastball. The 2 pitch, foul back, good swing by Full. Angels have a 1-0 lead over the Marlins after 2 innings in Anaheim. Mariners have a 1-0 lead over the Rangers in the bottom of the second.
I think the A's would love to be able to lose the DH tonight, because with Soto being pinch hit for, that means Norris would have to come out of the DH role to catch in the 9th inning. A's have to come back and at least time for that to happen.
Dominguez, the third baseman, cuts in front of the shortstop Gonzalez and makes a very nice play to get the speedy Sam Fuld. A's Baseball on Comcast Sports Tech California is brought to you by Play Flag Football. Register your child today at playflagfootball.com. So Matt Dominguez just in the game as defensive replacement. He's the regular third baseman, but getting the night off. He made a very nice play to get Full. So here's Perino. First pitch strike. Perino has grounded out 3 times to the second baseman Altuve. Off the end of the bat, and he broke his bat.
It's on a different Chad Qualls tonight, especially with the movement on his pitches.
Pumping strikes. So 0-2 the count as Perino gets a new bat. In the air to left, hit pretty well. Grossman going back, but he's got room, makes the catch, 2 outs. So that'll bring up Coco Crisp, who had one simple job to do. He has to get on base somehow.
Somehow. Let's bring the time run to the plate, and
that would be Moss, who's in the on-deck circle.
His first start against the A's. Moss hit a 3-run home run late in the game. He'd like to get the chance against Qualls for a 2-run home run. His first of the month of August, if he could do it.
Well, when the A's are trailing in the 9th inning, very, very seldom do they go 3 up, 3 down. They usually get some type of action. No matter how many outs there are. Coco trying to get aboard. 0-1 the count. Breaking ball, first one we've seen from Qualls. Coco has walked. He's grounded to the pitcher. He's grounded to second. He's grounded to first. So 0 for 3. And Qualls looking for his 15th save of the year. Outside corner strike, and now it's 1-2.
Remember, Chad Qualls As he throws this two-seam fastball perfect to the outside part of the plate. Playing by the Detroit Tigers, are trying to work a deal to solidify their bullpen with balls. And yeah, especially the way he's pitching tonight so far. They have until tomorrow to consummate the deal. One of the slider.
And it's down and in. Coco does not chase it. 2-2. Remember, we'll be back here tomorrow for the third and final game of this series. Drew Pomeranz will face Brad Peacock. Join us at 4:30 for A's pregame live. Two pitch is bounced foul. Rolls down the right field line off the sidewall. Keiko went 7. Fields through the 8th inning, and now Qualls here in the 9th.
Coco gets the two-seam fastball away, just trying to serve it to left field, not roll over on the pitch. And there's the fastball away.
And it runs across the plate inside, and now it's 3-2.
Oh, seriously overthrew the ball. With the catcher Castro set up, and the pitch is inside, had to backhand the ball. Almost as if Coco peeked and saw that Castro was set up outside.
So full count. Strike 3 called, and that's the ball game. So Chad Qualls keeps the A's quiet in the top of the 9th inning, and at this point in the season, that's a very disappointing loss for the Athletics. They had a 2-1 lead going to the bottom of the 8th inning, but Chris Carter with a 3-run homer off Luke Gregerson, and the Astros win it by a final score of 4-2. So the series is even at a game apiece, and it'll be the rubber game of the series tomorrow. Again, our coverage starts at 4:30. Astros 4, A's 2. That's your final. You've been watching Oakland A's baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California. Don't go away. A's postgame live with Brody, Bip, and Joe starts right now.